Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Well, we have almost exhaustively discussed about the solitude. Many more points are there to discuss, but this is not the time. The thing is, as we enter into deeper aspects of sadhana and we expand our consciousness, we feel more and more need of the solitude. For example, entering into deeper meditations called samadhi. Practice of samadhi happens exclusively in solitude. So, and even an assistant or somebody to look after or even to give you food should not be there. Such a absolute solitude will be needed, or your Guru's presence. Except your Guru's presence, nobody else can help you in the, every presence will be disturbing the entry into the samadhi sthiti. So there we find absolute silence, absolute stillness, and absolute solitude becomes necessary. Those higher conditions we will not discuss now, because it is more than enough for us first to have grip over the spiritual life and be able to love God intimately. As and when time comes, whatever is necessary, whatever understanding you want, whatever facilities are to be arranged, God will definitely arrange. Our part is to keep on walking. Divine Mother will go on arranging. So we will continue. One must live in the company of holy men, weeping for God's grace, and now and then enter into solitude. Unless the plants on the footpath are protected by fences first, they are destroyed by the cattle. The plants on the footpath are protected at first by fences, they are destroyed by the cattle. If you don't do the fencing for the plants that are lying, that are planted on the footpath, usually we see the path on which we go and come, we call footpath. In those days, it is the road, because vehicles used not to be there. We have to go on foot only. Wherever we go by foot, the footpath will form. And for giving shelter, for giving shade to the walker, they have gone planting on either side avenue of trees, so that it will cover and give shelter to the people who walk below. And they see, unusually they plant and go today, next day they come and see it has gone. The cow or cattle has pulled it out and eaten it and gone away. So when they are on the footpath, that means we are in the world. We are subjected to all types of attacks, negativity, people talking, all this, people commenting, criticizing, small things, people appreciating. With this, our ego starts working. Somebody appreciates, there is a ego presenting. We feel happy. Somebody slighting us, immediately we react to it. We don't like it. We start disliking, hating that person. These raga dveshas go on developing. And this is constantly shaking the inner being of yours. If you can attend to the things externally without being affected internally, then you can go on smoothly. Just attend to the things, leave the things then and there, and keep walking. But here we see, we react to everything, and because of that, we are interested, we are bound to the world, we have still desires and ambitions in the world. So that affects, and we will be shaken from inside. And constantly shaking is there. When the devotion to God, in the early stages you have to cultivate two important things is viveka, vairagya, and divine love on the other side. Viveka and vairagya dissociates you from the world, and the love of God locks you or joins you with the divine. Jagate virag, bhagavane anurag. This we have to cultivate, and unless we cultivate this, we are not safe. So what you have to do? You have to protect yourself from all sides, that you are not disturbed. The situations of life should not disturb you, in which, so that you will try to avoid many things. Whatever you can avoid, you will avoid. And the people talking this, that and all should not affect you. So you try to join the people who are of pious type and who are seeking welfare of all and are really devotees of God. That is, if you say a person is a devotee and I am going to become friend with him, see that some qualities of devotee are there. One thing is they don't have complaint over the world. They should not, this is like this, that is the government is doing like this, here it is that. You go there and see, in that institution it was like this, here it was like this. So this complaining, because God is ruling this world, everybody has a past, large past, which they cannot come out of it. They have to work out. So when the past momentum is driving someone, he cannot be that. Something else is forcing him. So we cannot expect a person to be other than what he is now at presently. To accept the world as it is and to do my duties and go on. So avoid what you can avoid and minimize your contacts with the external to the extent the God's work must go on, the people's service must go on. The rest of the time, save the every moment of your life and sit in a corner and call on God. This makes you a real sadhaka. The sadhakatva has to awaken in you. And these, a few devotees, that the small circle is necessary to discuss and converse with, because man is a gregarian nature and he lives in groups. Mind doesn't get satisfaction or heart doesn't get fulfilled unless we live in group. But the living in group must be the community life where all are having same ideal and all are standing on the same platform. Then it will be easy. The devotees of God join together and enjoy each other's company at the feet of God and talking about God, discussing about God. second thing is they will have a pure life, a life in which they don't have any external desires overpowering them anytime, because they are in the under the shelter of God. God wants, God protects them. Nature gives them strength to bear. So, this quality of a bhakta, you can just see that he is calm and quiet within and attending to his spiritual practices. Except God, he doesn't think or talk anything other than God. Uh, Anything, even cutting jokes, this, that, and everything about God and the spiritual life. They are happy, they are full of joy, they are not deprived of anything because they are in the company of God. So, this is what we see. This is called fencing yourself in every possible way, that your spiritual practices are not disturbed. Your relationship with God goes on enhancing. Becomes deeper and deeper. You are becoming more and more because of the company. Living in a company has got great help, that you are not alone. A group is moving towards God and each other is helping, because sometimes my moods won't be in constancy. The same mood I cannot maintain because there is a variation in my vasanas. I am trying to convert the worldly vasanas into spiritual vasanas. So I want to listen to beautiful songs. I will listen to bhajan. I am changing the direction. I am changing the view. I am the same person. But however I was associated with the world, now in the same association, same direction, same magnitude, I am turning to the other side, pertaining to God. Same propensities, I am turning to God. I used to sit day and night and read some books of my education or something. Now it is not going to help me by any way. I spend the same time and reading scriptures. So Sri Ramakrishna used to call this mode pirano. Whatever direction you are going, just turn it towards the divine. So all this collectively we call fencing yourself. You are covering yourself with a fence. Be very, very careful, cautious that time is not wasted. Time is not, because the time is, we don't know. Just to go to the gate and come inside, 5 minutes has gone. Just to talk to a person, good things, about somebody doing some good thing, or about his saint's life or something, then somehow you will see that your whole heart is not presenting just for anything you are talking, and by the time you finish the talk, it has already gone. So much of time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour going, you will not know. If you take the essence of all your talk, it was not exactly at the feet of God. Mind was not at. If mind was at the feet of God, like reading some scriptures, discussing some spiritual practices directly. But when we start discussing something, we go somewhere else slowly and our time gets killed. So this time is most precious. It is not only physical fencing, it is fencing from within also, that time is not wasted. Time is to remain intact at the feet of God is also a kind of fencing. You must be holding on to the Lord's feet at all times, through some means or other, through japa, through prayer, through meditation, through worship, through bhajans, whatever is possible, go on changing, because you will not like monotony. You can avoid monotony when varieties are there. And whatever you do, small works going on, doing cleaning here, there, then cooking, arranging for something, everything consciously offer at feet. Consciously. Oh, I have been offering, don't say. No. Yes, go and stand before Thakur's picture and say, take this, I have done this work. I have done the cooking today. You take this. I have done sweeping. After the sweeping is over, just stand for it. I have done this. For your sake, I want you, and I have done this. From this, I have nothing to gain. If the dirt is there for 2 days without sweeping, it doesn't matter. Someone will sweep. But I have swept today, and that I am offering it to you. So go on offering whatever you do. Even later, as you practice, you will start offering every thought that passes your mind. It is just, it is passing, as it is passing, it is falling at the feet of God. It is getting dissolved there. Thoughts, your understanding, your scripture, whatever you do in your life, see that it is consciously, not somewhere unconsciously, like doing worship after many years. You go on putting some, he is uttering some mantras, throwing some flowers somewhere. Not unconsciously, no. Full of consciousness. Consciously you will offer, yes, every moment, everything. Then you will feel the actual presence of God. When you consciously offer, you are offering to a conscious entity. And consciously, you slowly become conscious of the deity rather than the conscious of your work you have done. Whom are you offering? Whom you are seeking from the heart? What you have done, what you have offered will go away. But your relationship with God will remain. So when you consciously offer, you feel the living presence of God. Otherwise, it is difficult to feel living presence. If you are feeling living presence, you will see that God accepting what you are offering. Smilingly, He is receiving it. Yes, yes. So this kind of slowly you will build up. Slowly, everywhere, whatever way, the fencing doesn't end with just protecting yours from the community, from work activities, and no. It inner changes also, that you will not be able to do anything evil or bad. Fencing is there. It is Lakshman Rekha like. Whatever you do it within your jurisdiction, and don't go out. As if you are going to give something to beggar, stand in the window and give. Like that you will be working in the world without going outside yourself. You are within yourself, work is outside. You are discussing with anybody, you are talking to others, you are within yourself and you are talking to others. Otherwise, what we usually do is, we take that person inside us. When we talking to a person, we are not, within a moment, he has already entered into your head. If the discussions are on some serious point or arguments, then he slowly slides down into your heart. When Ragadvesha comes, you will not know how he has entered into your heart, how he has entered into your mind, how he is sitting in you. After 1 year, that incident you still remember, that person is still inside. So when you are doing any act, see that you don't go out and you don't allow anybody to come within you. Don't allow lodging of people within you. Incidents happens and go, just leave and come there. Talking is over, leave that person outside, remove him from getting lodged within you. Remove the memories, just dissolve it, go on putting at the feet of God, never to recall it again. These are all inner layers of protection you are taking. Otherwise, so many things you are filled with, where is the place for God? So you must make that clarity. This is making fencing within and fencing without. So Sri Ramakrishna says, if you don't fence, if you don't do all this, time will go away, life will go away. When you sit after at the old age, you are repeating mantra, you are not feeling the presence of God. You are doing worship, God Himself is not there. Whom you are daily uttering the mantras, it has become habitual and body mind is doing, and presence of God you are not feeling. With how much of love you must do the worship, how much of intense feeling you must pour your heart there and serve God with your worship. And otherwise, this must go on intensifying. Where does the worship end? Union of the worshipper and the worshipped. So, to that extent, you must be clearly, day by day, your clarity and presence of God must increase. Years of worship, we see we are where we are. Not even a little love or bondage between me and God has increased. No, it should not happen. Every day you must be just like a newborn child. How it every day it changes. You can go on recording every day's picture. You will see that every day it is changing, every day it is changing, every day. Then you make a photographs of every day. Then you will see monthly photographs you do and see how the changes are there in the baby, how it is growing, how it is changing its features, how it is changing its knowledge. All this, if you record and see, it is a slow, steady upward gradient. One day you will see that he is walking independently, living independently. So you must also in spiritual life, there must be constant, unbroken gradient, upper gradient, higher to higher levels of consciousness. You must go, attain that freedom, thorough cleaning from within. So these things we have to do, and we saw how much importance is solitude. Same when you are in solitude, what you are going to be there, you will be same thing when you are fenced yourself internally and now externally. So this fencing is almost equal to being in solitude. So unless the plants on the footpath are protected at first by fences, they are not. Your viveka, vairagya, your wisdom, your scriptural understanding, your guru's words, all these are the fencings. First protected by fences. These are the fences. Guru Vakya. They are destroyed by the cattle. Whatever Guru says, whatever scripture says, whatever our tradition says, you have to follow. Whatever is the place, rules and regulations, whatever are the disciplines to be followed, we have to follow. Neighbor. Then householders too will have the vision of God, won't they? Then the householders too will have the vision of God. You see that questionnaire, how far he has gone and how much of observance he has got, that Sri Ramakrishna is having constant visions of God. That understanding is there. God gives his vision. And we too can see, get his vision. That clear understanding that Thakur is having, and we too will get know, he is asking. Then the householders too will have the vision of God, won't they? They will also have, because the common understanding from ancient times of our Hindu culture is that God gives vision to those who go somewhere and do great tapas for long term. Some king did for thousands of years, he did the tapas to get the vision of God. These things, I have to retire from all things, I have to give up everything, tyaga, renunciation, sannyasa, and go somewhere, sit day and night for tapasya, and then we get. It is not necessary. It is not meant, at least for Kali Yuga. It may be for different yugas, but for Kali Yuga, simple calling on God, expressing love of God through bhajans, through prayers, through worship, through japa, simple disciplines. And here Sri Ramakrishna doesn't differentiate between a householder or a sannyasi. These people are feeling already, because so many sadhus passed through this region in those days because of the Rasamani. Now also, when we are going out as sadhus, and if we do not possess any money with us or any possessions, then we will be thinking, where shall we get my food? Anybody is giving, where we inquire. As we near the village or somewhere, anybody we meet, is there a person who can give me food? Where shall I go? Is there a place where I can spend my night today? We will inquire. Then they will say, oh, such and such place is there. And this becomes a common understanding. Whenever sadhus meet sadhus, oh, I had gone there to that place and I felt so happy. They looked after me so nicely. They made everything comfortable. I could spend out of 24 hours, I could spend 18 hours in thought of God. All this when they exchange. So it becomes a place of pilgrimage for the sadhus and sannyasis to take the shelter there. So many sadhus and sannyasis used to pass through, and these people witness that. And each passing will make them, oh, we are after our householders. We are after all householders. But to our great surprise and understanding, Thakur never differentiated, nor a true sadhaka who is aspiring for God differentiates between a householder and a sannyasi. Sri Ramakrishna looked after sannyasis as one eye and householders as the other eye. So the householders were given an important responsibility of taking care of these sannyasis. And without their help, the sannyasis cannot survive. And sannyasis were given the responsibility to place the ideal of renunciation for God before the society. And all have to accept this ideal of sannyasa, giving up everything for God, either externally, if possible, or at least internally. Renunciation is compulsory. Without giving up the desire for the world, you cannot attain God. It is not the object that you throw away or discard, or the life that you discard, but it is the desire in it, the understanding of possession in it. Suppose I have a crore of rupees over which I don't have mineness. It doesn't matter. If there is 5 rupees and I have kept my mineness over it, that is mine, this is mine, mamatva, if I kept on that, then it's a bondage. So, to live in the householder's disguise as inner Gupta sannyasi was Sri Ramakrishna's ideal. So, ideal is always shown by absolute renunciation, and they have the right authority, time, and convenience to spend their time for others, to bring them to God and make them strive for attainment of God. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.